Per capita income increased from US dollars 1,751 to US dollars 1,091, and remittances reached a record US dollar 30.3 billion. Yet behind these encouraging indicators, ordinary citizens continue to face considerable hardship. Rising living costs, higher energy prices, and inflation placed significant pressure on household budgets. Inflation averaged at 6.69% during the year and reached 11.7% in May 2026, affecting the purchasing power of families across the country. Climate change also continues to pose a serious challenge to Sindh. The lessons of recent floods remain fresh in our memory. Recovery and reconstruction efforts continue across many districts, while increasing pressures on water resources, agriculture, and urban infrastructure demand sustained attention and investment. At the same time, thousands of young men and women enter the labor market every year seeking education, skills, and employment opportunities. Meeting these aspirations remains amongst our foremost responsibilities. Mr. Speaker, sir, faced with these challenges, the Government of Sindh remained guided by clear conviction. The impact of economic uncertainty should not be borne by citizens alone. Accordingly, throughout financial year 2025-26, the government pursued a strategy of fiscal responsibility, prudent governance, and sustained investment in development. We sought to protect citizens, preserve economic activity, and continue investing in the sectors that matter most to people's lives. It is against this backdrop of global uncertainty, inflationary pressures, climate challenges, and rising public expectations that the Government of Sindh pursued its development agenda during 2025-26. I now turn to the measures undertaken by the government to maintain fiscal discipline, strengthen public finances, and sustain development momentum during a very challenging year. Honorable Speaker, sir, throughout the year, our objective was not merely to manage public finances, but to ensure that every rupee spent delivered the maximum possible benefit to the people of Sindh. Non-essential expenditures were carefully controlled. Administrative spending was streamlined, and available resources were redirected towards development priorities and essential public service. Our approach was guided by a simple principle: fiscal prudence must enable development, not constrain it. At a time when many governments responded to economic pressures by reducing development spending, delaying projects, or curtailing investments in social sectors, the Government of Sindh chose a different course. We protected investments in education, healthcare, social protection, agriculture, water resources, public transport, housing, and infrastructure. At the same time, we strengthened expenditure controls, enhanced monitoring systems, and accelerated governance reforms aimed at improving efficiency and ensuring value for money in public spending. The results of this approach are visible today. Despite inflationary pressures, rising construction costs, and increased expenditure demand, Sindh achieved the highest development performance in its history. Against an exceptionally challenging economic backdrop, the Government of Sindh released more than rupees 900 billion for development activities across the province. Major achievements during financial year 2025-26 include completion of 952 schemes as per the following breakdown. I won't go through this breakdown to save time. This unprecedented level of investment supported roads, bridges, schools, hospitals, water supply schemes, irrigation infrastructure, public transport system, municipal services, and development activities benefiting citizens in every district of Sindh. These investments not only improved public services, but also generated economic activity, supported employment, and strengthened the foundation of long-term growth and prosperity. We believe responsible public finance is ultimately measured not by savings alone, but its impact on the lives of citizens. Honorable Speaker, I now turn to the measures undertaken by the Government of Sindh during 2025-26 to provide relief to citizens, protect livelihood and support vulnerable segments of the society. Throughout financial year 2025-26, the Government of Sindh implemented a series of targeted interventions aimed at protecting livelihoods, reducing economic hardship and supporting vulnerable segments of the society. These measures benefited farmers, workers, fishermen, transport users, traders and households across the province. Honorable Speaker, one of the most tragic incidents during the year was the devastating fire at Gul Plaza, Karachi on 17th of January 2026. This claimed 72 precious lives and affected approximately 1,208 commercial units and businesses. Recognizing both the human tragedy and the economic devastation suffered by hundreds of families and traders, the government approved one of the largest relief and rehabilitation packages ever extended for a commercial disaster in Sindh. A comprehensive package of rupees 8.45 billion was announced, comprising compensation for bereaved families, direct financial assistance to affected shopkeepers, and compensation for inventory and business losses. Under this package, compensation of rupees 10 million per deceased victim was approved. In addition, 1,208 affected shopkeepers received direct assistance of 500,000 each, and approximately 5.77 billion was released for inventory and business losses. I am grateful to the Karachi Chamber of Commerce and Industry who worked with us very closely, and all the payments were made on the recommendation of Karachi Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and I thank them for their help. Recognizing the challenges faced by our farming community, the government launched one of the largest farmer support programs in province's history. An allocation of rupees 45 billion was made for wheat procurement and farmer support initiatives. Through the Sindh Wheat Grower Support Program, more than 336,000 farmers cultivating over 2 million acres received assistance through the Benazir Hari card. An amount of rupees 43.23 billion was transferred directly to growers, contributing to a 21% in wheat cultivation and a record 28% increase in wheat production across Sindh. Wheat cultivation increased from 3.086 million to 3.879 million acres, while wheat production increased from 3.54 million tons to a highest ever 4.91 million tons in the province of Sindh. To further reduce production costs, the government allocated rupees 3 billion as